So I'm really excited to see if they can turn things around here, but also for Secret, the underdogs that I feel everyone has written off coming into this tournament. You know, they came in through quals. They're the last placed EU team among 7. They're the last ones to be excited about, but that just means an upset from them is all the more sweet and fulfilling, Tim.
I think the way to look at that, isn't it, it's sort of, you know, underestimate them at your peril.
Yeah.
Really. You know, you've got to still put some respect on the name. You know, make sure that you're fully prepared for what you're going to be facing. So we're going to have the bans coming in. Team Secret take away Ying, and DarkZero will take away Knock. And then we'll get on to those defensive bans. As I've said a couple of times already, I'm really enjoying... Ooh, a bandit ban. I'm really enjoying the banning phase. I feel like we've got to maybe a bit of a sweet spot where there's enough bans but enough operator variety. You know, I feel like maybe 12, 18 months ago, you know, you had those sort of perma bans of operators where you can't do that anymore. Like, Azami's available now, but it's quite often we'll see an Azami. But I just feel like we get that nice rotation now. I feel like it's just a...
Yeah. Hang on, let's do that again. It's in a sweet spot. It's really good. Like, we've got Mirror available now, whereas, you know, we went for a period of time where Mirror would just never be played. You know, we have games where Valkyrie's available, and we just have that variety rolling through, and I just think it's nice. The interesting thing about this is the Secret have actually had the Bandit banned away against them before on this map, so clearly DarkZero are reading into a similar sort of play. Secret would often ban away the Kaid and look to bring out the Bandit as an alternative, and they would go to that for a lot of their denial. That, I think, is exactly what DarkZero are looking to remove, and you may have just seen in chat that there's a cursor bug, so you may have a rehost in just a second. But again, with the Bandit taken away, the Kaid is now on the field, so they still want to play in behind the electrification. One thing I do kind of want to comment...
They just find the bomb site and then rehost the part. Like, yeah.
They're the castle's green window. They have a secret dragon. Frost found the spawn window. Frost found the map.
They just found the wall.
You got bomb site.
There's a bunch of players having a conversation. Once we come back into things in just a moment, one thing I'm really excited about seeing this map for DarkZero. I know they've already played it once before, but for me, I need to listen. I can't help it. Yes, you have to go
same operators, same site.
I think green window and was it VIP?
Okay, I know.
No, I don't think it was VIP.
The dragon window.
Maybe
No.
Can I go to the bathroom?
No.
Man.
Right, I think
honestly.
I just like erased my hand like it was elementary school.
Why can I not
I don't
talk
gotta
about
go,
it?
but like, for her to go. That's some bullshit.
It's always the risk of letting players talk too long, isn't it?
It's always the problem. It's always a problem.
Always a problem. But no,
risk and reward. We'll take the risk so that you can have the reward.
I mean, you know me. I embrace chaos. I'll take that gamble
absolutely.
every day of the week.
Not a problem at all. I think there's an interesting point to talk about there, and that is the site choice. You know, we saw there that it was master and bathroom. It was bedroom and bathroom downstairs. Pretty much a fourth choice site, really. We don't ever really see that.
Let me stop you right there.
Go on.
Who's on defense?
Yes.
Who is on defense? Secret, because we saw the Bandit ban come through and they played the Kaid. So I think back to Kendra playing this in the early iterations of Secret before they made a couple of roster changes they've got now. They would defend this site making use of a mirror and look to play C4s below. Their whole thing was, we're not going to try and contest you on the breach going into exhibition, for example. We'll just C4 when you look for that vertical control. So although they are attacking in towards this downstairs site, I imagine they're going to play it very similar. They're almost saying, try and take the top floor at your own peril. There will be C4s heading skywards because basically the entirety of that upstairs is soft flooring above the site itself.
So we head back into the same site, same operator lineup. As you said, it's like I said, it certainly warrants conversation. Does the site choice? You know, we would normally.
It does, does it?
It does. I think it does.
Warrants choice. What did you say? It warrants choice. It does. Is that what you said?
It warrants discussion.
Yeah, but then it's the way you said does it. It was very northern.
Said the site choice warrants discussion.
Does it, or something you said like that?
Doesn't it?
No, you didn't say doesn't it.
No, you just.
I think you said does it. That's what confused me. It's another Manchesterism.
10 seconds left before insertion.
A Burnley-ism.
The site choice is buzzing.
Can I jump in?
for a second?
You can, yeah.
Cheers, mate. Thanks.
Go for it, why not? I mean, I'm hardly breaking down the strategy.
Less on the strategy for me, more the point I'm looking towards here is thinking about how DarkZero play maps like Chalet. Okay. Freebie number one.
It's gonna be. I tell you now. There you go. Easy.
Collected. Gaveni, welcome to a European showdown. But the point was before he just got absolutely slaughtered off the rip, was that when I think about DarkZero on maps like Chalet, they were one of the teams that really pioneered almost like a chess-like playstyle to it. They were really good at using Capital from double window on Mez to assault a player that would be playing on Mez behind a shield, for example, at the same time making plays elsewhere too. They're the kind of team that had NGR kind of pioneering that box play inside of or above library on, or sorry, in library on exactly the same map. They had all these really cool strategical ideas on both attack and defense that made the game feel a little bit slow at points, and I feel that's what we saw a bit too much of yesterday, a bit too much of a slowdown. And I'm excited to see what ideas they've got on Skyscraper. They are the team to watch if you want to see very mechanical, almost elegant executes, but only when they get it wrong, which often they don't. Often they do, even.
Two defenders that are currently positioned upstairs, and that is what DarkZero are looking to deal with to begin with. I can tell you there's one in Dragon and there is one in Exhibition for the time being, so it's going to be a long push across the DarkZero yet before they start really meeting any serious resistance. It looks like a third has made the way up as well. They were on main stairs. I think they've just got themselves up into to reception area. They're just dipping up and down. There's actually a fourth joining as well. So Secret certainly throwing numbers at this top floor hold you can see there right at your screen. So you've got 1, 2, 3 that are solidly positioned up on the top floor, Exhibition, Office, and what I'll call Reception. And then there's one that's just sort of the Azami is just dipping up and down the stairs. Savage there, just keeping mobile.
And I like what they've actually gone for as well. They've got 3 ADSs below the electrified wall. So if you're trying to get nades in below to clear that Kite Electrical off, good luck. It means you need to go and take the ground itself if you're ever going to have any hope of trying to get that wall open and get real control, which isn't that simple, as Secret are currently proving. DarkZero having to figure their way through a bit of an unknown problem here, which is why I think they look a little bit, I don't know, dissected by Secret is the only way that I can describe it. 2 left standing in Skies and Canadian. But it's a lot to do against 5 members of Secret, Tim.
Beautiful kill from Sleben. That just happened along the way there. The man moved in behind the small bar and Sleben was having absolutely none of it. Skies has rotated around on the ace. He's going to try and open up that reception wall to just try and make life difficult. That's obviously one of the beachheads for the defenders, really, is just, you know, that's where they're playing from and behind. They've got Kiba barricades, everything else set up, but Sky's going in there. He's going to be immediately challenged, but he's ready for Savage. Manages to take his head off, and that leaves us now in a 4 versus 2, but Skies is going to take a lot of damage and be shut down as he comes in. That's going to be Groovy managing to find that kill. Astro finishes us up, and that is a good first round from Secret.
No, sir!
Yeah, fucking go through this.
That's so slow.
So slow, that's so slow.
Outsiders 2.0.
So slow? I agree with that statement. I think that is the exact summary of what was wrong with DarkZero in that round, and it's a weakness that everyone points out about them, is despite it looking really elegant when it works, it is very slow. It's almost like they feel unable to move forward until a certain step of the checklist has been stepped off there. But with them being tripped up by Secret at the early part of the round, being caught out a couple of times on the way through, it kind of felt like you had 5 players all trying to do their own separate parts of the strat that never really intertwined or coalesced together to make a big impact. But part of that I'll put down to, again, a really cool strategy coming out of Secret, starting on a site that no other team really would, and pulling off a really cool strategy on it as well.
Yeah, it just worked out. You know, I think, do you get away with that every time? Probably not. But I think there was an element there of DarkZero not really knowing how to attack it. I think, you know, it's not a site, as I've said, that you're going to play very often on. You know, the process is kind of the same as Exhibition Office. It's working across. But no, they just didn't really have any answers to what Team Secret had set up. So well played, Team Secret. We're going to move into round 2 then. It's going to be karaoke and tea room. So we are back to much more of a norm. Team Secret are heavily investing away from site at the minute. There's only 1 player on site. There's a couple downstairs, a couple over on the Exhibition Office side. So once again, DarkZero are going to need to work their way in. And this could well prove successful for Team Secret, given what we saw in that first round, and I'm sure things are going to change for DarkZero. But if slow is a problem, then you spread out around the map and you give them a lot of ground to cover and a lot of ground to clear. And teams that are playing slowly are going to struggle with that.
And I think you're going to see more of that coming through here with how Secret have got themselves set up. 4 of them looking to work around in the ground floor here. Does mean for now, at least, the upstairs is a little bit empty. I think 2 players now potentially set up here. Yep, there we go. 1 at the top of Black and also 1 hanging out around Shrine. The rest just looking to chew through the drones as they come rolling through the map, but also take out the players as they get a little bit bold. But I just love how already they're having to check every single window they step in through for a frost mat. It was there in round 1. It's not guaranteed that it's not going to be there in round 2. And the Solus is making sure that there's no information able to be collected on who all the 5 operators are that are inside the map.
And it's another part of Secret spreading out as much as they have around the map. You know, once those drones are picking defenders up all around the map, like you say, any window could have a frost mat on it. You know, any window could have, you know, the challenge coming in. So it's not going to be easy. Pamba's going to manage to find himself 1 onto Sleb, and that's going to be a vertical nade. Nice freebie, but there's 1 in return for Kendrew, managing to pick up Gaveni, and that's going to leave us now in a 4 versus 4. 1 minute 30, and we've still got multiple members of DarkZero outside of the map, Des, over halfway through.
You mean you probably asked the question straight away, why was he in there by himself there, Gaveni, right? He's pushing into a spot that clearly hasn't been droned, had no idea Kendrew was sat lurking just outside of the barbecue in the hallway towards Black Stairs. So it's a freebie. There's no response being found by the other side. I'm with you. If he's in there by himself, why aren't the others in there with him? Or if the plan is to be outside at that point, why aren't they taking things a little bit slower? Kendrew just narrowly missing out on what could have been the second kill there, coming in upstairs, but he still owns Black Stairs. Popping out, as you just saw a second ago, 1 of those Vulcan canisters, and Rotero coming in behind will at least force him back up the stairs, but there's no real pressure to follow off the back of it. And again, little bits of utility are being missed out and ignored here. That were my catching out 1 of those frag grenades.
Pamba, I think, was pretty fortunate when he rappelled onto the balcony there that Kendrew didn't do any damage at all. You know, they might have been a bit of luck if Kendrew had hit a headshot, for example, but I'm surprised that none of the bullets connected at all.
There it is.
Kendrew is ultimately going to find Pamba, though. It takes about a minute, but he does manage to pick him up. Astro's going to go down to NJR, and that's going to leave us now 3v3, but time is becoming the factor here, and once again, DarkZero have been too slow, Des. They're not in a position to execute, really. They're just going to have to throw this at the wall and see what sticks, and right now there's not much sticking as Savage manages to find Canadian. Groovy onto NJR. Savage with a second, finishing things off, and Team Secret take round 2 confidently.
They look completely unbothered by DarkZero, right? It isn't like they're playing against a team that's had some great successes, won the Charlotte Major. It's... yeah. Thought we might hear something fun then. But no, again, it just looks comfortable, right? I mean, the fact that Kendrew is sat alone on Black Stairs, yet is being pushed separately by 1 player, then by another. They're not even aware that he's there. He's then able to step up and get a second kill on there, get back onto site without being punished. It's far too comfortable for Secret. There's not enough pace coming out of DarkZero, and I know we're only 2 rounds in, but honestly, I'm thinking already a tactical timeout really should have come out for DarkZero there. They need a pause. They've got to get the speed going, not forgetting this is their map pick. They wanted to come here. I know it's been one of their least favorites for the longest time, but if you're picking it, it means you've prepped it. It means you feel comfortable coming in. So far, DarkZero look anything but.
Normally, I'd probably be not strongly disagreeing, but I'd be saying, you know, 2 rounds is very early for a tactical timeout. But I appreciate what you're saying. Like you said, it's on their map pick, but there's a bigger problem at hand here, Des. You know, we're talking about speed, we're talking about difficulty getting in, clearing the map, getting the control that they need. Look at Team Secret's map choice for second map. It's Bank. That problem is just going to compound itself. It's going to get worse and worse if it carries on. So yes, I think it is a problem that DarkZero need to be solving. They need to be recognising, first of all, and they need to be solving it as soon as possible. So yeah, I don't think it would have been necessarily the end of the world. I don't think if there's another round or 2 going Team Secret's direction, I think that's exactly what we'll be seeing from DarkZero.
Can I invite something a bit different here, Medics? I'd like to spend a bit more time in the overhead this round, just to kind of see the movement and shape of DarkZero, exactly when these players start on moving forwards. Because right now, as you can see, we've got all 5 stacked up here towards this northeast side. One thing I won't fault them for, I think it's not a bad idea to have you all playing as a unit when things are falling apart, when you're doing things alone. I'm all for that. But bearing in mind they've been here now so far for 30 seconds, I want to see some pace coming through. You've got the Flores Rotero starting to roll in, focusing on the utility. But so far, Secret are just saying, okay, they're coming from that side. We step back a little bit. We are still largely unbothered.
An interesting setup from Secret as well, with the mirror just playing onto the half-reinforced breach wall there. It's a combination of a few different things that we've seen. Slepen looking to get out. He's just desperate for that peak. If there's anybody on there, there isn't at the minute. They open up the wall with the Flores drop. That's it. It's almost like the mirror window in that position is sort of secondary to it. Canadian's going to move underneath on the book and try to get something going vertically.
Oh,
The Nitro
got him.
down and gets the down. Beautiful heads-up play from Sleben there. Real big brain play.
All right, so again, a quick jump back on the overhead. Nothing has changed. The boys are still gathered around the office balcony. We've got one on the south side, which is a nice start, but that is it. They've opened up a softball. They've got a player in below trying to get some work done on opening up the floor and making Secret more uncomfortable, but so far all they've done, Tim, is gone through 2 minutes, and that is all they've done.
Well, that's it. Sleben dropping that Nitro down there has just wasted at least 30-40 seconds. You know, they really wanted Canadian opening that floor up with the skeleton key as much as possible. He's going to start that process again, but they're down to 55 seconds. They've no real method of getting into sight at the minute. The breach is being watched by Sleben behind a mirror window. You know, there's so much that they need to deal with, and they can't lose fights like that. Groovy goes out of the window. NJR was expecting that and still lost the fight. Pamba manages to get one, but there's answers coming back and forward. Diffuser going down though. Skies has managed to get himself in sight somehow. That Nitro is just going to be too late, I think, and it is now a retake for Team Secret.
They haven't really got big power positions held though here, DarkZero. I know they've got the balcony to play behind. That's a great angle coming out of Skies as well. It feels like they might have actually got away with one here as well. There's the next kill coming on through. For the longest time, it looked like nothing was happening in that round, but Secret allowing a little bit too much room and letting the plant go down.
Good triples.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. I think Team Secret have just given them too much.
They are the most peaceful, war paint-bearing people I think I've ever seen in history.
Well, I gave them a second there, and there was just too much sound. So there was nothing going on. But like you said, they're trying to manage that energy as well. You know, they can't be, you know, going into every round sort of screaming and shouting because it's not going to do them any good. But yeah, Team Secret, I think just.
Defenders
I'm disappointed.
I've
got to say, I'm disappointed in the last 45 seconds to a minute there. I felt like they'd done so much good work. You know, they'd wasted so much time with Canadian underneath. They'd kept control of the map really well. They got the great jump out. NJR was expecting it and still lost the fight. You know, there was so much going in their favour, and then they just seemed to back off and let DarkZero in to get the diffuser down. You know, we know from these two sides they're both, you know, heavily plant focused so far in this tournament. Some of the highest planting teams, they're wanting to get that diffuser down. So give them the opportunity, and that's exactly what they're going to do. If you're going to play with an Nitro underneath, you've got to be in position ready to pull the trigger on it, you know?
Yeah, I think it was more the fear of, okay, we know that Canadian had been pulled back up, you know, where were they going to be, what was the stop going to look like, just didn't quite catch the movements coming out of DarkZero and got caught blindsided, I think, on the back foot for the side of Team Secret. Here we go though, Barbecue and Kitchen, the next site that we're going to go into. Again, we'll keep an eye on DarkZero because the last 2 minutes were quite slow. I do want to see a little bit more pace being injected. And hopefully after that last round win, we are seeing them build up a bit of momentum here, keep things moving forwards, and don't find yourself stepping back into how round 1 or 2 went.
I think their execution and ability to put the diffuser down on the ground is absolutely fine.
Bro, you can see the drone.
Canadians go for this. It could be an opener. No, Astro just manages to dip away at the very last second there. He's just going to rotate around, and Canadian needs to be careful now because he might just find Astro on his tail. But no, Astro's going to dip back towards sight into Kitchen. But yeah, you know, I feel like the end of the round is kind of fine for DarkZero. Once they have the time, it's not a major problem. So yeah, speed up that first half of the round, get the control they need, and they'll do a lot better. But they're not really paying too much attention to the top floor at the minute, and that could come back to bite them.
We've seen teams try and plant on this site before without top floor control, and it has really stung. Kitchen becomes almost impossible because of the hatch. And over on Barbecue, well, things look even worse because of all the holes that get opened up inside of Karaoke and T. Gaveni is working on the upstairs, has that booked skeleton key in hand to help open up as much of that flooring as required. And I think we've already seen the impact of Canadian on the DKB as well, just forcing Astro further back. But I don't expect Secret to stay still for too long. They're always looking to move and stay busy.
Just going to be getting the Dragon Wall open, which is going to be start of the process for trying to move Groovy. He's going to just have a look out there, the Soulless gadget just telling him exactly which wall's being opened, and anybody else that's ahead of him, anybody that might be drawing it, just gives him a little idea as to maybe how many are going to be pushing into him. But the thing is, with 1:10 left on the clock, Team Secret don't have to engage too heavily here, Des. They can just drop back from Drum, they can drop back from Shrine, they can burn another 30-40 seconds on this top floor without even really risking themselves.
They really want a big kitchen hit. There's one on the window here as well. That kill might be the big one if it comes out, but it's not going to be a thing right now. The smoke going in through the smoke as well. Up nice and close. One for Kendrew. Gets the finish off, but gets put down in the dirt by NJR straight after. That's kitchen somewhat exposed now, so Team Secret needs to be really careful in this 2v4.
a good quick push. That's the speed that we want to see out of DarkZero. They've only burnt 15 seconds there, and they've got themselves in a position to put the diffuser down on the ground. It's all up to Sleben, and he is going to have a tough time of it now. 1 versus 4, and he's got to start finding some kills. NJR, I'm asking the question. I was just about to ask the question, why is that diffuser not going down? You know, get yourself into a position that's safe from above. Ultimately, Canadian finds that kill from the top floor, and that is going to be leveling things up for DarkZero.
It's much nicer. Still nice and calm because they know there's still so much work to be done.
Time out? You changed the way you throw the flash there, Gav? Twister! Okay, yeah, I just got lucky then. Tragic.
The comms are beautiful now. The only thing
Anything else, Troy?
is if they're aggressive. Right there, the last 2 rounds, like, they were kind of playing pushes back and up. I expect them to get in the face again.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we do like T, they're just walking around down low. Gav, just be a little bit more safer. You have the pocket, right? Like just keep watching yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to switch to the house.
I think, I was gonna say,
I think next time we literally do like a live run on it. And I think, so either I go Thatch or you go Thatch and I go, one of us goes Doke.
I was gonna say, I think I'm gonna go Doke and then just push with them.
Okay.
But they're just walking in.
Yeah.
Or you can even do
I think we should not let them execute. I think we either win the round early or we play to win.
Good one. Let's play a good one.
Because like
2 really key points I took from that, to be honest with you, Tim. 1, we caught it in last round as well. The DKB that was coming out, really good at forcing Astra away. And you've got this kind of push of 2 forces. Like you also heard from Secret, we don't want to let them execute, whereas DarkZero is saying, well, we want to get to the site in time before we're in the last 10 seconds. That's what the DKB is helping with. But I think here you might see even more aggression coming out from Team Secret. So far, Sky's on the Jackal. Maybe we'll see that DKB roped in as well, or changed out for one of the 2 fights that we'll see very, very shortly. But now you know what the game plan is. It's can DarkZero execute, or can Team Secret stop them before that?
Yeah, as Kendrew said, you know, can we win it early? Can we win it at the beginning of the round? You know, and to be fair, you look at the way that they started in round 1 and 2, particularly round 1, Savage right up at the door, got the early pick onto Gaveni and just gave them the advantage, and Team Secret were able to push forward from there. So yeah, I think the entry may be particularly important for them, give themselves that advantage and just get a bit aggressive, get out into the map more. It's something they were doing in the first couple of rounds. It's not really worked out thereafter. But yeah, it could be an interesting clash of 2 styles coming up.
I'm not too sure about the Jackal. Like, I understand the point of it, but I really feel that the DKB was more valuable because as soon as Secret start committing 2, 3 players out to be aggressive onto you, one of those being a Solus that's denying away a lot of your drone play, I just feel like Jackal's not going to be enough, honestly. I think you're going to need a little bit more than that. We'll see how it comes to be if Skies can find a player or 2 and sniff them out before they can do any real damage. But we're keeping a close eye out for Team Secret and the disruption they're trying to run inside the first 2 minutes.
Well, this is it. The danger of playing the Jackal with the Solus on side as well is that I would expect Jackal's gadget to be active and visible a lot more of the time than somebody like Door could be necessarily. So yeah, certainly an interesting point. But Savage, he's going to be playing right up against that window, and this is what Team Secret was saying, you know, let's get up in their faces, let's win this early in the round. And that's what we're seeing them doing. They're right up at the edge of the map. They're right up challenging windows, breaches, everything. You know, DarkZero still not established inside of the map after a minute. They've not having any safe space to move into at this point in time. So, you know, we can see that in action from Team Secret at the minute.
I don't hate it too much only because they know they can't really get the drones in the building, so things do have to be a little bit slower. It's why Solus is such an impressive operator and why so many players have either played her or why teams have banned her away so far throughout the competition. I'd be really keen to see at some point tomorrow, actually, what a pick rate is. Well, presence rate more like, which is the combination of pick rate plus ban rate to see, okay, actually how often is she being a factor in these games. Time will tell on that one at the very least. So for now, no one yet being taken down by Team Secrets. They're still maneuvering around DarkZero, working their way through. They've got the control on the downstairs, and Gaveni's down here on the buck. No doubt looking to open up and soften up sight a little bit before the rest of DarkZero look to start their push forward. But we are coming towards that last 60 seconds, so the plan needs to start coming together around about now.
Skaz is going to grab the diffuser and going to be ready to rappel in through the window potentially. So it looks like it's going to be a karaoke plant. There isn't anybody from Team Secret actually inside of karaoke at the minute. They're sort of defending much deeper. They're out over towards Terrace Drum. There's one at Gold Bars. So Team Secret definitely need to think about this because DarkZero have the space here, Des. They've got the space to go in and plant.
They do. There is a frostmat waiting which will easily be cleared away, mind you. It's more the fact that grenades and stuff are still being eaten up by these were my magnets and ADSs. bit of work to do really on DarkZero's side to scout out that utility, I think, or at least burn through it with things like flashes rather than those oh-so-crucial smokes and frag grenades.
Skies has relocated. He's going to get himself up at Black Stairs instead, looking to potentially push into T-Room here. He's going to need to find a kill, I think, just in behind Noah. Goldbars has actually moved out and is now in the drum area. So there is an opportunity potentially, but they're going to be cut down by the long angles of Groovy. That's not ideal, though, as Sleben takes out Kendra on a team kill. 4 seconds left to go, and the diffuser is down cold. It's a secret round, and I think a bit of indecision maybe hurt DarkZero then.
Yeah. They were playing everything, but I mean, I guess we could have followed.
Bro, I was like, what?
Nice.
I think really the big thing to me towards the back end of that one was, again, DarkZero just running out of time. And
Bit of indecision.
The thing is, I thought they started quite well. I know they're having to be careful because of Solis. They're not getting picked off, for example. They are slowly trying to force Secret back in towards site, but at 30 seconds, we still had 3 on the downstairs, 1 working through top black. And you saw what happened. I commented on the grenades as well. That smoke that was coming out was going to be the thing that let them get down the hallway and get some really good control. But with it being caught out by the magnet and doing literally nothing except impeding their own view, it made it far too easy for Groovy and the rest of the team to pick up the kills they needed in the close. 3-2 to Secrets. And the last round of the half coming right up.
Going to be heading over to Exhibition and Office for the final defense then. And really, it just seems to be the standing question for every single round. You know, will DarkZero be able to get into a position with enough time to execute? That's the question that we are watching play out in front of us every single time. When they do, they tend to win the round. When they don't, it tends to go towards Team Secret. So Secret, again, getting aggressive, up on doors, up on windows. It was something that they did last time. It kind of worked out for them. They burnt time, and, you know, that was the most precious commodity that DarkZero were missing.
Absolutely that. Well, that the KB is back on site. See how much work it can do in the round. Look on the other side as well, a bit more mobility being flashed off by Secret here as well. The Vigil, the Jaeger, the Alibi, even the Solis as well. The boys, again, recognizing that they need to be getting aggressive into the face of DarkZero and stopping those executes coming through. Thing is, in that last round, I didn't really feel like they were being too aggressive either. They weren't actively going out there and seeking gunfights. It was just seeing how they can waste time safely from DarkZero and then force them into a less favorable execute later in the round.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just about positioning. It's positioning and posturing. You know, without actually taking the fight, it's just making sure that your presence is known. You know, knock a barricade out, get seen on a drone. We're out there, we need to be dealt with, but then dropping back in a smart way. And like you say, it pays off. It wastes time. You know, if you can have DarkZero chasing shadows round for a minute and a half without losing a life, that's absolutely ideal.
Most definitely. A lot of focus here coming inside of I was about to say Genshin then. I've been talking to her missus too much. She plays that game all the damn time. Geisha was what I meant, and sure enough, Savage is punished for quite an aggressive overpeak there, hoping to catch someone out. But there were 2 players on the upside down rappel for DarkZero, 1 watching terrace window, and 1 just on the balcony in general. And you just saw him pick up a kill there at the very start of that bit of aggression coming out from Team Secret. So whilst DarkZero put a lot of resource onto Geisha so far, they found 1, but we're down to 1 minute and 20 in the round, and Secret still scrambling around. Not forgetting, Tim, that Geisha, of course, is the wrong side of the map. We've still got a lot of work to do to push through Dragon and Shrine, and then start looking in towards the site itself.
Indeed, there's going to be utility to clear and a push to be made. There's a minute left on the clock. Team Secret have all but dropped back now. We've got the alibi of Kendra. He's just moved forward into Shrine and been absolutely deleted.
He's been focused on the drone there,
NJR
that's the
has
problem.
just slammed him with the marksman rifle, and that puts Secret in a bit of a bad position here. This is DarkZero's wheelhouse. This is what the rounds that they've won, where they've got 50 seconds, man advantage, and they're pushing in towards site. They're in a position here with a little bit of swift movement where they can think about getting the diffuser down, they can think about that execute, and this is a team that loves to do that. I think Secret might struggle to hold on to this one.
I think they're almost overexposing themselves here and going too aggressive, like pushing out a breach blindly. 2 words trying to put together was quite a struggle. Trying to go through that for 1 for Savage was bad. Then in the second there, trying to deal over the top of a shield to get rid of a drone that was taking out a shield you weren't even playing behind. Those 2 overextensions coming out of Secret in this round. I completely get wanting to waste time, but not the go-to. Groovy gets in behind. How on earth does he slip through the DarkZero net and found himself 2? 2 come back the other way. Groovy's the last one left standing, but guess what? Shock horror. DarkZero out of time. They're going to be able to hold on here and close up this half 4-2.
Big mistake. Big mistake from DarkZero there.
Hey, you support her!
Oh my up, man. Fucking hell, am I playing a turtle?
It's like playing a turtle. I mean, he's not wrong. It's been ridiculously slow. You know, the fact that we're getting to 120 and they're only just getting inside a geisha, that's the real kicker for me. I mean, again, Secret, they made 2 big mess-ups in that round. There was no reason to lose the 2 players they did. But DarkZero, woohoo, they beat them in shit play top trumps. They pull out, letting Groovy get on the flank and killing 2 of you. Unforgivable at that stage. You're in a 5 versus 3, boys. Oh, have you let that happen?
Secret are going to be happy with a 4-2 half there, I think. As you said, I think, you know, there's a lesson to be learned there. You've picked up on the Savage peek out of the breach. You know, really, what Secret were trying to accomplish was making it difficult for DarkZero to get into the map. Savage could do that without going anywhere near the breach. He didn't need to aggress and try and find the kill. He was in drum, he had his line of sight through onto the breach, and DarkZero can't really step in with him there. They have to do something to get rid of him. They have to move around, and that's what's burning the time for DarkZero. So I think, yeah, Team Secret can learn to meter that a little bit, you know, and not get too aggressive there, but out for them nonetheless. So we move on to the defensive side for DarkZero, which you have to say is surely going to suit them better because time is less of a factor.
I mean, sure, the time doesn't hurt, but I'm more worried about the pace.
Less of a factor.
I'm worried about the pace, though, the lack of energy that we're not really seeing coming out of the boys at the minute. And what scares me most of him is going into bank next. That's even more punishing.
I said this rounds ago, didn't I? You're going to get punished even more for time on bank.
It's just, yeah. It's frustrating because we know that DarkZero can be great, right? We look back at Charlotte and we saw what they achieved there. You know, it's all doable. It's just not shining and showing when it's most important. To start off the round, though, you've got Secret straight up on the windows. 45 seconds in, they're already looking to post their way through a couple of areas here. Exhibition is going to be a big pushing point for them. Gaveni is expecting the push to come through, but as of yet, no one from Secret has dared push in. Here they come, though, and they've managed to get the cross as well. Looking completely the wrong way, mind you. They're getting caught in a crossfire slaughterhouse. Gaveni finds 2. We'll find 1 bound for himself, at least Kendra in response, and now he's got to deal with Gaveni, but he's popped himself up on top. No, it's Pamba. A good defense coming out from DZ, 3 of them holding out by display and bringing down the vast majority of Secret.
4 versus 2, and honestly, DarkZero look like almost a different team in the first half of this round. You know, they've done fantastically well at stopping that push from Team Secret. Groovy and Savage doing a good job to get themselves into a fighting position at least. It's 2 versus 2.5, I'll say, given NJR is at near enough half hit points there. It's just DarkZero can stand up to the challenge when it's there, and like I said, with time management being less of a factor on defense, I feel like it will suit them better, but they've still got work to do here to close this round.
I mean, they've got work to do in the form of 3 kills because they don't have the Defy and Earth as Pamba giving NJR giving himself away there. Sorry. Here comes another one as well. Groovy. Do you really want to face him down? Pamba says, yes, I do. Finds the kill and forces it to a 2 versus 1 for DarkZero. Savage doesn't have the diffuser as that's over in Exhibition, so he's got to find kills, but he looks the wrong way. Gaveni makes it a big 3K in the round.
What am I hearing, man?
A good start for DarkZero.
A bit silly from Secret.
A little bit. I think it was just... I think the aggression that they'd been trying to play with on defense, I think they've maybe tried to apply the same technique, the same tactic, the same thought process.
I mean, there's 3 of you coming in through the same single window, right?
We're just going to try and get up in DarkZero's faces, and we're going to try and rush them, and we're going to try and, you know, make them... And the problem for DarkZero is I don't feel like it's been speed of thought. It's not been about thinking on their feet. It's not been about reacting. It's just been about not moving quickly enough. So I think, yeah, just because you run into their faces, it doesn't mean all of a sudden they're going to crumble.
But the thing is, Tim, that wasn't even the site as well, right? That was the other side of the map, which is weird. It's almost like DarkZero, to be fair to them, probably have done a good bit of study on how Team Secret attack this map and realise, all right, that's their main point of ingress. It's where they like to start. Let's post 3 players around here and wait for the crossfires. And they played it beautifully. I'll give it to them 100%. A really good read and shut down Secret before they could even get started. Now that we go over towards Exhibition being our actual site, though, let's see how things fare on the other side of the map, as I imagine Secret will start inside a geisha and work their way across. That's exactly why you've got DarkZero setting up a bunch of reinforcements and utility.
Yeah, they're going to be ready for that push in once again, I would imagine. I think Secret will probably take the foot off the gas a little bit this time. You know, it was almost like they were trying to prove a point. You know, you've played slowly, it hasn't worked. We're going to play as quick as we can and show you that it does. But unfortunately for them, it didn't. And they're going to have to find the happy average in between that gets the job done for them. Sleben's going to take out that default cam, look for a push to potentially head into a restaurant and up the black stairs and then through tea and karaoke. The drones are in ahead of him this time, and they might just catch out Pamba on black stairs there. Is it going to be Pamba party time, or is he going to get caught out and dealt with?
It's a beautiful thing about the Solus, as well as even the safety things that have been deployed out are going to get taken away, and Savage will just go and replace it here. So back down it goes. Still, opening kill comes in the form of being taken onto Pamba. That were taken off the board by Sleben himself with a couple of claymores in back pocket. Clearly wants to put one here at the top of top black. In absence of having something like a Nomad on side, they do help serve as these flank watch gadgets for your potential runouts. It looks like they're trying to protect the backside and make sure there's no nasty surprises coming out of DarkZero.
Groovy just trying to get something going on the vertical up through the hatch. It's going to be Astro, though, that manages to find Kaveni, and that leaves us now in a 5 versus 3. Team Secret, as I said, a slightly more metered, measured approach. They've not gone flying, 3 of them in through a window, and oh, look, you're doing better in the round. Canadian tries to move up the black stairs. Not a chance.
So you say.
Actually gets away with a kill there, but ultimately it's a failure of a flank, I think. NJR manages to get the kill onto Kendrew, but it's 3 versus 2, and Team Secret have got time. 1 minute 20. They are getting things done quicker in the round here than DarkZero were able to.
You do need to get hold of the diffuser, though. I think that went down in Kendrew's hands, so it needs to be recovered before they make this push forward, just in case there was anyone trying to be too cheeky. And sure enough, there's Groovy picking it back up and working his way up towards Dragon, where NJR awaits. They've also got a push coming in through Terrace here, so working their way in through both north and south. I'm just really nervous that Groovy gets taken down here in the 1v1 against NJR, separated from the team, and they have to re-scramble through unknown ground. In fact, he's abandoned that. Good train of thought, I think. Not trying to push in solo through Dragon. If he dies there, the round's basically done. Has rejoined his team, and they're looking to stack up for a 3v1.
Trying to get the Selma charge active on that wall, but it's going to be blocked out for the time being. That's dealt with reasonably quickly, though, and we see and hear that breach getting opened up. 28 seconds left to go, and DarkZero might just find themselves holding on. Beautifully done. Love the teamwork. Astro there, ready for the headshot onto NJR, and that leaves it all up to Skies, but out comes the shotgun. He gets one. Can he find another? Absolutely not. Groovy there, ready for the trade, and that's going to be Team Secret taking the round and leveling things up.
It's a lamp.
Eat up, dog. Eat up.
Welcome to the next round. Next round. Go.
I love the impact that Twister's having on this team as well. And it's not just like players in the team that have said this, but others are just saying from afar, you can see how he's helping transform Secret into something quite special, because it's been a rough, probably, I don't know, 18 months, 2 years for this Team Secret side, going through various players, various different iterations, always scraping the barrel at the bottom of the EUL standings. And again, they're a team that many would write off, coming in from qualifiers, coming in as the 7th EU team for all intents and purposes. Even some of the boys I spoke to were saying, look, for us to even be here itself is a blessing. Kendra was saying, it's just good to be back at SI again after all this time. They weren't having any grand visions of making finals or anything. But at least from what we're seeing, they are putting on a good show, and I'm quite curious to see how far they can go in the competition as a result.
So, for any of our particularly maybe EU fans watching who aren't, fully familiar with Twister, he was a coach of Furia previously, and I think I know Twister reasonably well. I've been interviewing him since 2020. We chat outside of the game sometimes as well, and the 2 big things that stand out for me for Twister is vision and belief. He's very good at setting a goal, a path, and seeing the method to get there, but also the belief that it can be done as well. And there's a very brief example of that back in 2020 when he was with Furia, when he began there. I watched the stage 2 and 3 at the end of the year in 2020. Furia, I think, won 1 or 2 matches in that entire 2 stages. They were bottom, they were in relegations, they were going nowhere, and Twister said at the time, we're gonna win Invitational one day, and this is how we're gonna do it. And they didn't win Invitational, but it was a hell of a turnaround that they got there and got to major after major. So yeah, Twister, he's absolutely that sort of person to take on that project.
Some coaches are the real deal, then some of them are frauds, like Fabian. Here we go with Astro charging in on the Ana, looking to see what he can find, but it's Sleben jumping straight into a frost map. Thankfully recoverable, but we will be without a good chunk of his HP.
DarkZero happy to just hold their angles for the time being. One in drum, one in shrine, just waiting for this push to continue across. Astro knows that, and he's going to just be peeking out ahead of him there. Thinks about the nade. He knows he's going to have to use it to clear out that Keeper barricade that Gaveni is playing behind. And there we go. It just gets replaced. Azami, such an oppressive defender at times. Look at the utility soak.
Can be absolutely horrific, because the thing is you have to keep on rotating through this soak as well. That's the most annoying part. It's not like, okay, we got rid of one, oh, another one's there. We get rid of that one, oh, another one's there. Rinse and repeat until your pockets are basically empty. It's why she gets banned away so often, not just here at SI, but throughout stage play over the last few months too. Now at this point, Secret are still looking to get their way downstairs. They've got 70 seconds to work with here. Some control of the hatch starting to be established, but still yet to really pull together a solid plan to make this work.
A lot of face checking going on from Secret of the top floor there. Kendrew, as you saw, just checking through into Karaoke. Only 3 drones remaining, which we would expect to be due to Canadian on the Solace, and it certainly is starving Secret of information at the minute. Skies has got Nitro in hand. It's a Nitro and a Dream. He's not got many HP left for if the challenge does come through the skylight. Is he going to have the Nitro ready to go? No, he's not. The hatch is going to be opened. He drops himself
35.
away, but he just needs to be careful. He's keeping himself very tightly under cover there. NJR manages to find Savage. 5 versus 4.
Still Groovy working his way down the backstairs here as well. Oh, Kendrew gets there before him, but surprise! Gaveni was waiting at the wall, ready to pop him out if he dropped through. One more comes in through the hatch, and Gaveni not quite sure exactly which way he's going to get pushed from, but him and NGR are doing all the work. 3 kills, making a 4th from Bamba. It's Kendrew all by himself, will not be able to do anything at the end of round 9. DarkZero get one more on the board.
Well, we've got a close game. It's 5-4 now. Team Secret just managing to keep a hold of that slim advantage that they've got, but DarkZero certainly looking a little bit better for the rounds that they are winning than the ones that they took on attack. And as I said, just removing that time restriction, that time factor, it now plays into their favour, if anything, I think has been a little bit of a helping hand for DarkZero. But it is worth reminding you that this is DarkZero's map choice. Top right of your screen, you'll see that the 3 maps that we could potentially play are Skyscraper now. We will see Bank, which was Team Secret's choice, and then the decider is Theme Park, which is basically the leftover map when the banning is all done. So DarkZero, they've got to turn this around, as you know, they can't, I think, be losing this. I'd be very worried for them going into Bank for the reasons we've already discussed. That's an interesting reinforcement. Usually we'd see a rotation to top black stairs through into Karaoke. That's been completely reinforced off. It is sometimes used against the defenders, so I can understand it quite, you know, there is the potential for pushing a Montagna, for example, in through those black stairs walls and trying to get the diffuser down next to the bomb chassis. So, you know, I get that, but we'll see whether it's, you know, it has any impact on the defenders themselves and it will. Restricts their movement.
It absolutely will. And you coming up black now is a lot easier. Coming in through Shrine Balcony is a lot easier. You can smoke off that corridor and get in pretty much for free with 0 contest coming in from the other side. It's one of those where normally you'd have like a smoke, for example, looking to work through that rotate from Karaoke up onto that black stairs balcony and looking to challenge stairs, or even looking across towards Shrine Balk. So whether or not Secret looks to abuse that or not is going to be a very different conversation. For now, they're just looking to get themselves inside the building without losing 3 players like last time, Tim.
I mean, that would be an ideal start, to be fair. We're going to have Savage on the Ash, just looking to take out the Keeper barricade. Will be successful, and that opens a very long angle all the way through the top of the map. Pamba just holding his position. Don't get excited. It's just a Gemini clone, but it does give him an idea that the push is likely to be coming in from that exhibition office side.
They've all been baited by Niana.
Oh, repeatedly.
This one being a little bit more slow. It's the real one this time. It's Groovy with the gun looking in towards Pamba, but can't find his man before he dips back away behind the shield. But Secret now coming up against a little bit of friction here. Are going to have to try and force their way past DarkZero. Here comes the utility as well. Nades flying in over the top. DarkZero just adapting to fit. Got to be careful about this player outside Geisha as well, because the backstab is real.
Pamba's just going to be holding another tight angle here. He's having quite a good game so far, 9-6. Certainly been effective for his team. They're going to be hoping for a few more from him now. Astro just peppering across the top of the drum, not managing to connect with the head of the defender behind it. And Secret just need to make sure they're not going to fall foul of time themselves. They are starting to work in towards sight now. Nade going out. Pamba very aggressive on the door there, just waiting for any attacker to expose themselves on the balcony.
Still, Shot coming in from Kendrick to find Gaveni, who's taken out as well, the first kill in the round. And now Secret's march begins. They move their way forward, not aware that they've still got NGR sat in just behind the drum. Those keeper barriers coming into force once again, but 2 kills come in for Secret before 1 gets traded back. It's a 3v2, and surely with 45 seconds left, Secret can clean up.
Canadian's moving up the back stairs, but he's going to be shut down by Sleben. 3 versus 1, it's all up to NGR. I believe he's going to have to hit an ace here, Des. That's 3 kills for him in the round so far. Diffuser going down will be successful, and that leaves us now a 1v3 that's come down to a 1v2. And NJR, he could be on for something special, but if he is, he's going to have to start finding kills. He sneaks his way in through Geisha. He's looking for the first man. He's hard right, NJR, but he doesn't know. Information is limited for him. Obviously nothing to tell him inside a sight. He sees one at range, but not! Savage stood on top of the diffuser, and Team Secret take themselves onto map point.
A little bit of co-play coming in there at the end as well on the crossfire. Beautiful stuff to tuck in so tight to that corner. 6 and 4. Secret in a spot to take away this map from DarkZero. And Tim, we both said coming into bank, it feels like trouble. DarkZero timeout coming in.
Just give me 10 seconds, guys. You guys are doing a great job. Stick to that. This is the most important thing, okay? Most important thing. The other thing is that they know that they are struggling to hold our full tanks, and they are giving us a lot of kills. So what they will do right now is just pick 1 or 2 drones and try to fall back. So how do we counter that? We just face that we are taking the site and taking the piece, and we don't need everyone to take the map because they are giving to us. So let's just take the map with 2 persons, Kenny and Astro, and all the other 3 try to play on site to get the gaps that they will give to us. That way, or either rush sites, You guys can do this. You guys have the space. Just be confident.
I think we'll switch bomb site. Can we just check that it's the right bomb site? Basically,
Come over to Ivy.
I'm literally gonna hide. So
it's just a default.
Yeah.
All right. Nice little motivational speech from Even Twister. I feel a bit more roused by that, Tim.
Yeah, you ready to go?
I'm ready to cast now. Let's go.
I think I'm absolutely loving, being able to listen into those because it gives us, that insight to watch for. Us and everybody at home can sit there now. And what Twister was saying there is, we don't need to play in to the DarkZero extensions. They're giving us the size. We've got the opportunity to actually just get in there quickly and think about getting a diffuser down. Let's send 1 or 2 into the map to play with the roamers a little bit and keep them occupied, but let's hit site and we can watch and see how that plays out.
Yeah, 1 or 2 drones coming in. I mean, they're already finding 1 or 2 being picked out in the droning phase. Not ideal. 2 gone already off the board for the side of Secret. Make it 3.
And that's without a Solace.
I mean, 1 I'm okay with. 2 I'm disappointed. 3 I just feel let down. To be fair, it was it's a little bit of a bug. Only 2 went down. There's still 8 on the table, so therefore I'm a little bit disappointed. Only a little bit, though.
Anger comes first, doesn't it?
What are the 5 stages?
Well, it always did. For me, I think the famous one, the joke, isn't it? And it was always the same with my parents. You didn't. If they were angry, they were angry.
You didn't. You're about to reveal some real deep trauma here about your childhood.
If they were angry, that was one thing, but you didn't want them to be disappointed. If they hit you with that line, I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. That was so much worse.
A bomb has been located.
Just disappointing people, it hurts.
So at the point where they lose 2 drones, maybe that's like, I'm a bit angry you've lost 2 drones. But then when it's 3, look, I'm not angry anymore, I'm disappointed.
I just know that you're capable of so much more. That grenade tickling NJR's feet there. Lost a couple of toes in the explosion as well. Sky's also taking a bit. Canadian also getting a bit of chip. Everyone gets chip and dip going rolling around from the floor downstairs. Secret now they have to start getting guns up and looking to do a bit of damage at the players on site itself. Smoke's coming out as well, bearing in mind we're just inside 60 seconds here. Canadian strikes first and brings down Groovy. Wamai's starting to get to work as well. Those magnets catching out a couple of nades. The Skies finds another. Game plan not working out for Secret, it feels, Tim, as they are being slaughtered.
Not at all. The push directly into sight, just really not paying dividends. We're going to see kill after kill and only 1 of them for Secret at that point. It's finished off 3v1 at the end, and that is going to be the round for DarkZero. They stood up well, and you just feel like maybe Secret didn't need to change tack there. If it had been going so well for them going through the map and, to feel like, oh, actually, we don't need to play into that. Let's just get onto site. Maybe that change wasn't really necessary.
I just hate the pushes in through the display window. It's just, It's a death box. It's coffin. It's called coffin by some people, for God's sake, for that exact reason. You toss any kind of explosive in there. Normally there's a barbed wire in there as well. There's potentially 3 or 4 different crossfires you can get. It's just a really horrible way to push in. And I know they tried to force 2 or 3 players into force the issue. But DarkZero had a response ready-made, and that's twice now. They have deleted Secret when they've come pushing in through display. Last sight of regulation will be down here in Barbecue and Kitchen. We've got those frost mats on side once again, alongside the cap cans that we love to see. And I'm not at all surprised to see the Azami back on side. It's been really valuable throughout this game for both sides to some degree, but I feel DarkZero have made some really good use of it.
Here we go then, into what could be our final round, or it could be the signal of 3 more. It's going to be Kitchen and Barbecue for DarkZero trying to hold on. The question is, the Team Secret go for that sight, that director sight attitude again, or do they go back to going through and trying to find the kills around the map and just applying a bit of manpower out there through each room to clear it out?
This is the power of Solus as well. 4 drones gone before the round has barely started. Just having those pinged out and fed back over to the other side is what are the teammates to help take them down. It's pretty scary. Either way, Secret have got to try and do their best with what they've got here. Of course, with the Twitch on side, you do basically have 4 drones, 2 of those Twitch drones and 2 of the normal drones. That's a hell of a lot of information. It's not all surprised to see, despite the F2 nerf coming in, that she is still a very popular pick.
Oh, 100%. I mean, interestingly on Solus as well, obviously, it's one of those things that can be difficult to sort of quantify, but there we can do it directly. We said coming into the start of round 11 that they had 8 drones remaining. Coming into the start of this one, they had 6 drones remaining. So the effectiveness of being able to take out those drones is basically doubled by having Solus on side. NJR going to take some damage there. Gavani just relocating, waiting for that push to come in. Surely not the window again, Des. I worry for your hairline if they come in through this window again.
I'd worry about yours, but there's nothing left to worry for at this point.
I'll be honest, that ship has sailed, Des. That worrying's been done.
I'm a good 10 years too late to that party, good friend. Either way, rotating away they come, looking to try and push instead in towards the Shrine side of things. So not Shrine, sorry, in towards Terrace. That's the word I was looking for. Pushing in towards Terrace rather than trying to push in through that display door, and it is forcing DarkZero back, to be fair to Secret as well. The calls of that decay be ringing out through the map, and that's a wonderful reverse shot from Pamba.
Fantastic stuff, taking Savage down and just giving DarkZero a little bit of an advantage, trying to get themselves into overtime, trying to do anything they can to cling onto their own map. As you say, Kendrew just taking the risk of going for that repeat, but Savage, Pamba is long gone at this point.
Yeah.
Savage is long gone as well, to be fair.
They are slowing down a little bit here, which is probably the concern. I say that as they get one back, instantly traded out elsewhere. NJR looking on fire at the minute, 13 and 9 in the game. Still 1 kill behind Groovy, but the 2 of them really putting on a bit of a show.
Yeah, he's played very well so far. He's been a big part of keeping DarkZero in this group. He's moving across, just needs to be careful of his left-hand side, but there's one behind the bomb chassis as well that could potentially mount a challenge now then. Sleben, I don't think he's aware of Gavani. Absolutely not. It's completely free for Gavani, who steps out and decimates Sleben. They've no idea, Des. They've absolutely no idea where anybody is.
The beautiful thing is if DarkZero win this round, we go to overtime, they get to choose the starting side as it was their map pick. So you would then start to have a little bit more faith in the boys from the NAL to take this away. A great long shot coming in. NJR on fire.
A great finish to DarkZero's half there. They just got themselves back into it. They're trailing behind throughout, and they've shown some good character there to keep things fighting. You don't want to be going to overtime necessarily on your own map pick. It's certainly not setting you up for success, but nonetheless, sometimes that's just how the drone rolls, and you've got to go with it and get the wins where they come. Like you said, sometimes on the way to a title particularly, you've got to be able to win dirty.
You do. You've got to be able to win the games that look unwinnable at points, or pull back rounds from what feels like the brink of defeat. That big clutch ability is a thing that I think every champion has had. I don't know a single one that hasn't won a big tournament without having that ability to win dirty, as you say, Tim. Let's see how this plays out, though. DarkZero on defense to start with in overtime. As I said, they get that pick. They chose to start here. Secret have had a bad run of things the last 2 or 3 rounds, so I'm a little bit nervous about how they can recover this.
Canadian on the Solus once again. We've seen quite a bit of play time for him on Solus to see how he does with the drones. We'll see when we get into the round exactly what the counter is showing. At the minute, there's quite a few missing. We'll see how accurate. Yep, 6 on the board, so a fantastic job done by the Solus. As I say, effectively, it seems to be, you know, anecdotally, probably about 100% more drones are taken out by the Solus. It tends to just from, you know...
You know the exact maths on that, Tim?
No, exactly. I don't have the exact maths. That's the point. But yeah, you know, from what we see, you know, usually rather than losing 1 or 2, the Solus may well claim 3 to 4. And that is really doubling up. And that is a huge amount of information to lose. And that is a huge amount of life to lose at the beginning of the round. It's Pambazoo taking down Sleben to kick things off. Sleben, who has had his moments so far, but, you know, a little bit quiet overall. And maybe, you know, they could do with a little bit more from their Super Sleben.
Starting to feel a little bit desperate for Secret as well here, with no information being fed to them. They're having to just try their best and figure things out as they go. But DarkZero look ready. They look expecting. They're expecting to see Secret come pushing in through certain angles, and just always seem to have the idea ready. Yes, it's only a 5 versus 4 for DarkZero, but I just think the momentum of the last 2 rounds are going to keep on carrying them through this one as well.
As we've said countless times, Team Secret can be, you know, quite an emotional team, and just being reeled back in like that, and you know, the having to adjust and having to react in those situations, overtime wins, you know, may be difficult for them to come by. Savage is just going to be trying to pepper down into Dragon. Need to be careful that we don't have another team kill. NJR's going to beat him to it. He's going to take both of them down. Groovy and Savage. NJR's reign of terror continues.
Astro finds one back, but I feel the one is just simply not going to be enough to start a cascade here of 3 or 4 more rolling through. DarkZero pulling back here, knowing that even with 60 seconds on the clock, well, 70 to be fair, Astro is not going to be able to do this one all by himself. Going in blind, looking for whatever he can find on his charge through. Feels like a matter of time until he's picked off and this round is done.
The problem that comes next for DarkZero, assuming that this round is won, as it's almost certainly going to be, the problem that comes next for DarkZero is they're back onto the attack, Des. You know, yes, they can win this in round 15 with another defense, but they're going to have to solve that time problem again. And you're just concerned when you think about that. And, you know, will they be able to get that done? They would like, I'm sure, to win this just in 2, but they might have to go all the way to 15.
They're picking the fucking mayor!
I didn't see anyone that whole round. I was just listening to you guys talk, and I was stiff as hell.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Mayor McCheese.
Oh, I could listen to this all day. Still, that's probably not how I describe how that round made me feel, to be fair. But for DarkZero, I'm getting ready to tweet after this game, so I've already got one prepped about how oppressive that Solus has been. I think the last 3 rounds especially, the first couple was a little bit hit and miss, but the last 3 rounds especially, Secret just look frustrated. They're being forced into gunfights they simply aren't aware of, that they aren't prepared for, angles that they didn't even know existed, and they're having to blind peek every single corner. And it's when you see players stepping in through, say, a single doorway, and immediately they have to check 3 different angles. It only takes one of those to be held by a defender, and you are guaranteed dead. So Secret need to find an answer when we go into round 15. For now, at least, here on the defense in round 14, I do expect they'll have a bit of a better time of things.
It's going to be a bit of a, I won't say a bit of a gamble, but we saw Team Secret defend Master and Bathroom back in the first round. They were able to get it done. DarkZero at the time, I said, didn't really look like they had too much of an idea of exactly, you know, what the plan was, how to attack it, because obviously it is a little bit of an uncommon sight. But Team Secret going to bring it back again and going to give it a rerun, see if they can manage to generate the same sort of magic. We didn't see it from them again after round 1. It was purely a one-time thing, so let's see whether DarkZero are a little bit more prepared for it this time.
Now, I clocked this earlier on. Astro missed this drone when it was sat inside of this plant area, but obviously for DarkZero, why would you change up when clearly it's continued to work the whole way through? For now, they should have eyes onto Astro and what he's doing, and they'll know exactly what the movement is around this area of the map, and there it is. You saw it just there a second ago. They know what's going on, which means DarkZero at least have some valuable information. No Solus coming through on the defender side as well does mean DarkZero have got free reign with the drones. One thing I will commend them for, we saw this back in the first half as well. They were very good at making use of all these drones. Very rarely did we see any being taken off the board, despite most being out on the field.
That's going to be the wall open. The Kiba barricade goes over it immediately to allow Savage to keep trying to hold on to that position, that location. Team Secret really trying to keep that vertical presence above site. They don't want to be giving it away. We're going to have DarkZero moving on to try and get the office wall open as well. That's going to follow pretty soon. Should be successful with the Thatcher EMP. Not too much of a problem. And that is going to see Team Secret needing to shift here. Or they're going to commit to the fight. And right now, Sleben, he looks like he's digging his heels in.
I mean, what have we learned from the first half of this game, Tim? We don't want DarkZero to be able to execute. So the Secret, contesting them upstairs on the top floor, whether it's with utility or guns, is absolutely paramount. And it seems to be the same once again. Pamba looking to work his way in through house here as well. Sees a man just inside of front desk, so they know that he's there, which could mean a kill comes through. Gaveni finds one for himself on that march forwards. Astro is down, and it looks like things are starting to get sour for Secret.
They're going to have to pull something out of the bag here, that much is for sure. The Jaeger has gone by the wayside. 5 versus 4, 1 minute left to go. If DarkZero get the next kill, you feel like they get the round. That has been the key driver for them. Once they get man advantage and they have a little bit of time, they will happily push in and try to get that diffuser down. So for me, it's all about the next kill or two. Team Secret, they need to step up, they need to stand tall, Des, and they need to make sure that they're winning their gunfights, and that is a big one. Savage takes down Skies as he tries to go into sight, but Pamba, he has an answer, managing to find Kendrew. 35 seconds left to go. Canadian steps in, shuts down Savage. Gaveni has grabbed the diffuser, he's putting it down, and it looks like this is going to be the end of Skyscraper. It's all down to Groovy. 1 versus 4 becomes 1 versus 3. He's working from above, but he's got his work cut out.
It simply can't work out here as well. They've got windows to play with, they're near the outside of the map. It's just looking too rough. They see him as well, and Gaveni hits it on the reverse. DarkZero take the first map.
That's a big comeback for DarkZero there. It wasn't easy at stages during that map, but they have managed to turn out an excellent victory. But they can't get carried away. That was their map choice, and they've got another one to win yet.
Momentum was so back and forth throughout the game as well. We spoke a lot about the Solis coming out of DarkZero. Honestly, a massive impact. And Kendrew, a picture tells 1,000 words.